Let's get drunk at the director's garage. Let's get drunk at the director's garage. It don't matter wherever you are. Let's all get drunk at the director's garage.
I know this show is supposed to happen on a Wednesday, but I got drunk and couldn't make the gig. So I packed up my headphones and I headed out the door. And here we are today. Time to get this show started. The whiskey's pouring, grab yourself a beer. Everything's ready, the director is here. Time to get loose, join the entourage. Let's all get drunk at the director's garage.
Oh, yeah. Why not? It's Friday. Hey, how's everybody doing? What's all going on? Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to the Director's Garage Friday Happy Hour Hangout here. Doing good things. This is the ZMF Atrium, and it's a good ZMF. You're going to see some flashing going on in the background. The controller that controls those lights has gone bananas, folks. It took on some, I don't know, like a life of their own, and they're just kind of flashing around and doing things. So it's kind of the party disco Friday happy hour hangout. So, forgive the auspices of the flashing background and pay attention up here where the lighting is nice and normal and sane. You'll see I have 3 ZMF Ori 3.0 sitting in the background here. That's because yesterday I shot the next episode of the Director's Garage, which I have been struggling to get done, not from lack of writing it and lack of production. I just haven't had time. Time has been of the essence because I've got 3 projects going on simultaneously, only one of which is really paying at the moment. But you got to pay attention to those things, and you're developing stuff for the future as you're as you're doing things. So, cheers, everybody. So I haven't had a lot of time to produce a show, even though I've been doing a little bit of listening anyway. Some great new music out today. Tedeschi Trucks Band has a brand new, Susan Tedeschi and Derek Trucks, that they have a new album out today. It's on Qobuz. I got a little letter in the mail. That was always exciting. So that's happening. That's new. New episode going to start editing probably next week. If I can really get lucky. The problem is I've got a project ahead of it that has to get done. But just for Zach and anybody at ZMF out there, I'm going to shoot the B-roll of these headphones and send them back to you because I've been sitting here for too long. I've got all this stuff here. I've got all the cables and all the different filters that I tried on the Oris. I was just showing all that off while I was doing the episode. So I could recreate it now, and then you wouldn't need to watch the episode when it actually comes out. Imagine that. So, lots of things happening. Holly is somewhere around the house right now, so he's probably going to pop in the back here at some point. You may get a little surprise from that. I know he was upstairs, and upstairs is new to him. Since we lost our little girl Noodles, who hated Holly with a passion, Holly has been getting more access to the house, to the rest of the house, because he and Noodles would butt heads, and they couldn't coexist. So now that Noodles has gone, he's learning about the house, and he's starting to get along a little bit, and he's making friends with our other cat Thor. So it's a process. It's a whole we got a whole little wild kingdom going on over here at the Director's Garage. New Meze headphone IEM just released today. And I don't know if you guys saw that, but I'll show it off, because why not? Because we can. It's called the Astro. The Astro. Let's go to Laptop of Death. Oh, we have a viewer system coming up too. Torsten, our Patreon member from Germany, which is where that's probably why all the disco lights on the bottom, because we're going to do German disco. Here's the Astro. It is a single dynamic driver headphone, titanium build. It's milled. Probably can't show this video because of copyright, so I'm not gonna. They're talking about it as as kind of a powerful, bassy, visceral headphone. IEM, as far as that goes. They call it punchy, full-bodied, and rich. So it's going to have a commercial tune, is what it sounds like to me. All for the fine price of $900. So it's a $900 single driver IEM. There's the driver. There, you can see it right now. There's the driver coming in live from Parts Unknown, from the interwebs. It's a big driver. How many millimeters is it? Does it say? Do we know how big it is? 80 ultra-thin layers. Titanium shell. There you see the milling process. Ethereal comfort. Who writes this crap? I'm just trying to find the specs on it. What size is the driver? It's a 10 millimeter driver. That's a pretty good driver size. I've seen them up to 12 and 13, and even I think there's one that had a 15 millimeter driver. 32 ohm impedance, 2 pins, connector. Holly's entering the room behind me. Dynamic driver. Yeah, I'd like to hear these. I'm curious. I'm curious enough. I think I like what Meze does as a rule. They tend to under-deliver on some of the technicals, but they usually over-deliver on the tuning. So I think a good tuning, to me, can outweigh technical performance. I'd rather have a good tuning than a headphone that shows me a lot of detail in the music and whatever. Because if it doesn't sound good, what's the point? What's the point? So this is kind of cool. Nice little thing to start off the Friday with. We got a brand new IEM from Meze. They're kind of, and just thinking about it, like their process and whatever, they're overdue in their lineup for a revision. I mean, the Elite's been out for a long time now. They did do the Empyrean 2.0 last year, so I would think that the Elite would need is about due for some sort of refresh. I don't know, but I don't know if they've redone that Renaro driver at all. What's been going on there? So kind of interesting stuff. Put your comments in the chat. Let's talk about stuff, guys. Love to see the chat fill up with words, so I'm not sitting here making stuff up. Did some slight tweaks to the studio because we had to move it. Every time we do an open house here, I take all this stuff down, all of it, the lighting, the camera, everything comes down. I do leave the background up, but I put all the headphones away, and I try to clean up the room because we're going to be showing it off. And frankly, I don't really want to leave a $2,000 headphone like this gorgeous HE-1000 unveiled, sent to us by Audio 46. That I don't want to leave this sitting out for somebody coming on an open house to swipe. I'm like, because the last thing I need is to have to call Rodrigo and say, I think I just bought a pair of HE-1000s because I can't return them to you. That's one of the dangers of having an open house when you have tens of thousands of dollars worth of gear in your house. It's a little bit like, oh, I don't want anything bad to happen here. It's kind of unnerving. But I'm glad I got the episode shot for the review of that Ori 3.0. It's going to be fun. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. The headphone was a bit of a challenge to me, for me, because it doesn't quite fall into my preference lane tune-wise. So I did a lot of stuff to try and make the thing sound a little more like, it'll make sense when you see the video, but make the thing sound a little more, like what I would like it to sound. And that's the spirit of the Ori. The Ori is the whole point of the Ori is to mod it to your taste. So I didn't feel bad like trying different filters and stuff, because that's the whole point of the headphone. Where I sometimes like, I don't want to sit there and EQ this headphone here, well, because this is coming up. I'm not going to sit there and EQ this headphone, because HiFiman, the intent of this headphone is to listen to it as is. You know, it is the headphone that they produced. The point of the Orig is you're supposed to take it apart. You're supposed to put filters and pads and play with them. It's a science kit, you know. It's kind of a science kit auditory. You know, the whole process of the sound of the Orig is meant to be an interactive experience. I think that's fun. I think that gives the headphone a lot of appeal, because and you know, hey. How many science projects look like this? You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you see this in person, there's like a clear coat over this, the dark streaks in the ebony wood here, and it looks like you're looking into like flowing ink or something. It's amazing. So you get this really beautiful headphone that you get to then sort of tweak and mess around with and sort of, you know, tune it in or tweak it into a preference that you enjoy. And I think there's merit to that. I think there's plenty of place for that. There's room for that in the market. It's really an interesting product. The challenge for me is that unfortunately it's a product that's not quite tuned to my sensitivities. And that doesn't make it bad. It just makes it not tuned to my likenesses, you know, what my tastes, and that's important to note too, because you know, you can't like everything that comes in. I mean, you know, so it's been a challenge to review it, because I want to frame these to a person who would enjoy this, you know, because who cares if, you know, you don't have my hearing? Why would you care if I like it, you know? But who is it for, you know? And when you have this much work put into something that's this beautiful, it certainly is for somebody. I mean, and I'm sure he's selling a ton of them, and he should. And they're really fun with these, because you get these plugs. I call them corks in the unboxing, and you can, they had them around here, and they're on the desk a second ago, but I had a mad dash to get on the air because I was in a recording session until about 3:25. I was I was recording somebody's voiceover, so I was like online. I'm watching the clock and stuff's shifting around, and I'm trying to get set while I'm trying to wrap up this VO session to get on the air live. So I was actually a minute late today, guys. You know, come on, director, get it together. Ryan Dietz is in the house. Now let's talk about Mr. Ryan Dietz, who showed up at our Hangover Hangout on last Saturday. Last Saturday we had a great Hangover Hangout. First of all, I have to thank Ryan, because Ryan dropped in and had a really honest discussion with us about how tariffs are affecting the headphone industry. And how it's creating challenges and obstacles and how you have to adjust to work around them. It was a fascinating discussion. So Ryan, cheers to you, my brother, for stopping in and enlightening us, because this is stuff that we don't think about. You know, we're sitting here on a website and we're like, oh, I want to buy this, you know, whatever, and we don't understand. No, there's, you know, parts for these different projects, for these different products, come from all over the world, and they have to get here, and they have to be paid for. And now suddenly those parts are way more expensive than they were when orders were placed, because there's usually a lag between when you buy something and when it arrives, especially on the more boutique, bespoke stuff. So, you know, suddenly you're faced with, oh, this isn't going to make as much money as I thought it was going to make, because my cost has gone up, you know, and it's already paid for. So that was a really interesting discussion that Ryan had with us. If you guys are interested at all, you can join my Patreon. I send links out. Anybody who joins the Patreon at a $3 level for a month, I send you links to all the past Hangover Hangouts, so you get to watch all of that, all the interviews I've had. Ryan has been a guest a few times. I've had Zach from ZMF, clearly. Ray Samuels was on a couple of times, I think. I've had Danny from Raul Requisite drop in and talk about his magnificent products over there, the Ribbon Driver headphones in the Amanus and the Magna. I've had representatives from Noble Audio. Kai Moulton stopped in a few times, and he's talked about like the latest happenings there. John Massaria, who we wished well last week, he's actually home. John has been on that Hangover show and did a thing, talked about his products and his process of creating, and he much like Zach. I love these guys. The reason I love Ryan and the reason I love Zach and the reason I love a guy like John is they just started out of modding. You know, they just thought, I'm going to do this headphone mod. They're like, well, what, can I build my own thing? You know, and they just grew it from that. And now they're doing their own, you know, John's got JM Editions and Ryan's got Mod House and Zach has ZMF. It's just amazing to see somebody who follows their passion to that level and then winds up with their own business and their own thing going on, you know. Fascinating stuff. So we talked about that, and then Sajan, whose handle on in our chat is always Hipster Cow. Sajan came on and he did a photo essay walkthrough of CanJam New York. So we got all of these photos from CanJam that I hadn't seen and talking about products that I haven't heard. It was just so cool to get a take on CanJam and get somebody who actually was there and talking about it. That was fantastic. It was like, and it was like an hour long. There was a couple of diversions along the way because we all want to chime in with stuff and talk about things we've heard, you know. But it was great because we got a little tour of a place we couldn't go. So Sajan came in and really carried the football there for about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, and showed off like all the things that he heard that impressed him at CanJam New York, and that was a great part of the discussion. And then the session ended with a discussion of AI and the role of AI in the music industry, in the production world, in the post-production world, and where it's all going. And it was fascinating. One of our newest folks who joined the Patreon is in post-production visual effects. I'm in post-production editing. So we have a lot in common. We had a lot to share. Christopher from Germany was in, and he talked about how he uses AI in writing operas. Oh my God. You know, like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? So it was fascinating. It was a great, it was like a 2.5, 3 hour session. It was great. Really informative and filled with opinions. And then we all give our music recommendations every single month, which is great because you walk out with like a crate of music to listen to, you know, on your streamers of stuff that you've never heard of for the most part, which is fantastic. It's always fun. It's always fun. So that was the Hangover Hangout from Saturday. And we've got a new episode coming next week, so that's going to be fun. We'll do a little bit of chat in a second. I want to go to this is one of our Patreon folks, Systems, and the name of the person is Torsten, and Torsten is from Germany. And it's one of the things I just love about doing this show. Sorry, I'm going to look for the email so I can talk along with it. And understand what the hell we're looking at. One of the things I love about doing this show is I have connected with people literally all over the world, and I have people from Indonesia, and I have people from the Far East, and I have people from Germany and Italy, and I've just met people from everywhere, Great Britain and Ireland, and just fascinating that we all share this passion for this crazy little niche in the world, and it's a lot of fun. So Torsten sent me his viewer system, and we're going to take a look at some photos of what he's been listening to lately. And we're going to start with a really cool one, and that's right here. This is the Abyss Joel. Look at this gorgeous shot he took of the Abyss Joel. And that the Joel now stands for Jack of All Listening. That's what they intended to be, kind of an all-rounder headphone. And I'm anxiously waiting. He has not sent me impressions of what they sound like, but it's I can't wait to hear what he has to say about them. It's a fascinating looking headphone. So, you know, got Diana vibes for sure. I don't think they reinvented the wheel here, but it's definitely got the Abyss aesthetic, which is kind of more brutalist in design. And clearly, I think they're doing some printing and stuff here. Well, it'd be interesting to see what the materials are that this are made of. I haven't seen these in person, and I missed them at Can Jam. Now, what we're looking at here are tubes from inside of a... Oh, he wrote it down. Where is it? iBasso. This is the iBasso D17. And it's a small little amp that has these portable tubes that you've been seeing turn up in a lot of gear right now. So these are kind of cool. Something else about the Joel. We'll go back to it for a second. He says he finally got an Abyss Joel, not from the dealer that he ordered last summer, but since Abyss in the meantime opened an EU store. I didn't know that. It took them less than 3 days to ship it and clear customs. Fabulous, because so Abyss has an Europe store in Europe now, so they don't have to worry about the customs thing as much. They can do that internally and then just get you the headphone. That's really cool. That's really cool. So anyway, this is the iBasso D17, which he pairs with. Oh, well, now we're looking at something else. Okay, this is the Gold Note HP10. This is his headphone amplifier that he's marrying with the Joel. So these pictures are a little out of order. That's okay. That's fine. Interestingly enough, that screen looks an awful like the screen from my Lena. I mean, it's programmed differently, but it looks like a very similar screen. Very cool. Okay, so he's now using this. It's only 3 watts. Now he uses it with his newly acquired Gold Note HP10, which is rated at 11 Class A watts into 32 ohms, and he can hear the difference. Yeah, I imagine so. When you have so much more current going on, you can move a tighter driver much easier. You know, you've just got it. It just gives you a lot more room or a lot more oomph to get that membrane in motion. Very cool though. That's a really pretty looking amp though, headphone amp. Really nifty. And you know what's cool too is that they get different gear over there, because they're with the tariffs and all that stuff, you have access to different goods. I'm imagining that the Zale is probably much more popular in the Europe market because it's right there, you know. So something like this, which we wouldn't probably see at many, I haven't seen this at any of the headphone shows. I don't know if you guys have, but this is really cool. It's a nice looking piece of gear. Gold Note HP10 is what this is. It's a headphone amp. Nice knob. There it is. There's a nice close up. Little badgy badge in the corner there. Probably a power button, I'm imagining. That's nice. It's nice. It's got a nice screen on it. Very cool. Okay, now we're getting into some of the other stuff. So this here is a Tipsy Audio M5, which pairs with his latest portable amp. That's the iBasso. That's what we're seeing those. That's where we're seeing those little tubes from, that little tube window. Very cool. Tipsy Audio M5. This is his portable amp. Oh, it's not. Oh, yeah, those are the built-in tubes. Yeah, those have built-in tubes in it. Yes. Very cool. Very cool stuff. Neil highly recommends, our good friend Neil Snyder, he highly recommends the Tipsy Audio stuff. Let's zoom in a little bit. Let's take a look at these. Kind of an interesting sort of marbleized look to the end of the headphone. 2-pin arrangement. And then it's into this portable. Very cool. Ooh, hey, not that close. Was that movie Tootsie? Not that close. Oh, there we go. There's a close-up on the Tipsy Audio M5 IEM. These are nice shots, Torsten. By the way, congratulations. These are really nice. Nice shallow depth of field. These are fun to look at. Give you a nice slice of what's happening. It's a very clean look on these things. Very good. Very good. There's the tubes again from that Ibasso, and then the Abyss Joel. Man, so hats off to Torsten. Thank you so much, Torsten, for sharing your images with us. If you want to share your images with us, you can simply send me some photos at, I got to find my switcher because it's buried under all the other stuff. Here we go. No, we got to do this one. There we go. Let's see if that works. Nope, that didn't work. I was just going to, oh, I see what I got to do. directorsgarage@gmail.com, directorsgarage@gmail.com. That will get you a direct line to me, and you can send me some photos of your system. I will happily show them off on the air, and we can talk about what, things. You can send me a note with it. Tell me what you like about it, what you don't like, things that were working for you. Always fun to show off what you guys are into. It's part of sharing in this hobby. I love doing it. It's fun to do. It's part of the whole, DNA of the show is like connecting people and connecting with people. So it's a lot of fun. So share your thoughts. Send me an email if you want to, or if you don't. It's cool. We can do that. All right. Let's get into some chat here. And I don't know. It's probably not going to be the longest live stream ever. There's not a whole bunch more to talk about unless you guys get going in the chat on a specific topic that you want to investigate. Happy to explore that. Talk about anything you want to talk about. But let's get in there. Hello, Mr. Director, says Gil Renard. Gil Renard. Cheers, my brother. It's always good to hear you. Good to see you here. Ryan Dietz, welcome. Thanks again for showing up on the Patreon show on the weekend. Your input is so valuable. We really get to see a side of the business that we don't get to appreciate. Most of us buyers on the buying end of things. So it's really impressive to get your thoughts. And you're more than welcome. Anytime, my friend. Anytime. You always have an open invite to those weekend shows. The Hangover Hangout. JTB, hello. My brother from another mother. JTV says, gotta pass the tariffs on to the consumer. The company can't take the hit. These asinine tariffs are really a tax on the American people. Yeah, it's how it winds up going down ultimately. In the case of, I'm not going to speak too much for Ryan here, but as you know, Ryan takes orders and then fills them. So if he takes an order before a tariff is in place and, he's got to honor the order and suddenly the price of his parts go up because of the tariffs, he can't go back to the person who bought it and say, in good conscience and say, I'm sorry. He can raise the price for future sales, but for current sales, it's like, dude, you gracefully bought my headphone at this price. I've got to honor it, So the people who wind up paying are the people going forward. He's got to make the money back that he lost on the previous sale from the pre-order and, pass it on to that person. So that person really takes the brunt of it. But it's hard. And, Ryan's an honorable guy and he's doing the right thing. He's not sitting there going back to people and saying, you've got to pay more now that, it's costing me more. That's the way to do it. That's how you run a good business. And so hats off to him. But it does point to the challenges that this world is facing right now. It's really Everything is just so difficult. You know, it's way more difficult than we ever thought it would be. JTB says he has a 2-piece band recommendation. They're called Angine de Poitrine. Really wild. All right, I'll take that recommendation. Hopefully I'll get a chance to do some listening. The director has not been sleeping much because I have so much. So I'm going to put this in a note. I keep a notes app open on my desktop, and I write random notes in there when I hear a good piece of music. And so then I just refer to my little notes app on my phone or on my computer and say, oh yeah, I was going to listen to that. That's what I do. If I was really on it, I would have the rune open, and I just put the thing into the rune and add it to my up next or to be listened to or whatever the hell it is, save for later list. That would be fun. But I try not to open rune when I'm on the air because it sucks up some bandwidth to run it, and I try to get maximum output so that the show looks good to you guys. It's all for you guys, I'm a giver. Stupid. Torsten says, thanks for the compliment, but those lights are not the tubes, just some LEDs. Give the tube some glow. Yeah, they're really nice though. It was really cool. He's talking about these. I thought these were tubes because this is the Astell&Kern stuff. Here, I can do. Did I get rid of the email address? I did. I'm going to take that down. Nope. There you go. Whatever. This is the photo we're referring to. These look like tubes to me. But I guess they don't have to be. They could be LEDs, but they look like tubes. Because if you look at like the KN products, their tubes glow just like this. These are the solid state, or they're not solid state, except then they wouldn't be tubes. It's a different kind of tube. It's like I don't know. It's hard to explain. I don't even understand it all myself. I should just shut up. I do tell you I'm an idiot at the beginning of every single show I do. You should believe me once in a while. But the tubes that have been going into these players look a lot like that. So I don't know. It wouldn't be surprising if it was a tube, but he's saying they're not. I'll take him at his word. Good enough. And I'm sorry again for the flashing in the background. I have these light strips that are under the desk. They're like, so they sit down low, and they illuminate the bottom. And normally I just have them at a glow of, like, I don't know, purple or something. I would have whatever the hell they came on at. But the controller for the light strip has gone ballistic. It's just gone haywire. So I've ordered a new. They're only $20. I mean, this is the cheapest light strip ever. So, and they lasted 3 years. So I shouldn't complain that, boy, this $20 lights, they've been on nonstop since I moved in 3 years ago. And they're kind of having a mind of their own today. I might be able to take it apart and find the wire or whatever's shorting, but I think at this point it's just $20. I'll pay the $20 and get a new set of a new LED, and I'm just going to replace the box. I don't need to redo all the lighting. It's all under there. It's just that strip lighting, that thin with the mounted tapes. Michael's arguing with himself. Michael always argues with himself. That's what I do. I'm here alone in this room most of the time. I get out for a couple of hours a day to go talk to Mrs. Director, and the rest of it is on my own. Of course I'm going to argue with myself. I'm also going to swear at myself. What the heck are you doing, Michael? Things go wrong. I'm getting to work on some cool projects, though. I've been, I think I showed you some of the stuff back in December, the AI stuff, and it's really interesting, and I'm able to do things now affordably that maybe we couldn't have done a while ago. Like, it wouldn't have even been able to do it because, like, what the idea was too broad, and there's no budget to do it. So, I'm putting together some sales reels and stuff. And if any of this stuff sells, then I get attached to it, and then that's a money-making vehicle. But we're working on stuff, and it's just fun to do and play with. So I've been sort of doing a lot of that kind of editing, and then I'm still working on the AI stuff where I'm doing AI consulting. And that was the issue with that is it was supposed to end like really 2 weeks ago. It was only a 1 week gig, and it's keeps expanding and getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I'm like, whoa, I have other things lined up to do. And now I'm like trying to satisfy your needs, which I want to honor because you've been paying me actual money, which is good. But I also am trying to get these other projects that I promised to other people through and on their way. So it's been I've been sort of bouncing between projects every day between these 3 projects and trying to service everybody and make some money at the same time. So I've been up really late at night. I've been up to like 3, 4 in the morning, and then I'm back up and working at 8 again. So we're a little bit on the tired side this week. That's why the voice is sort of gone. And then last night I shot the episode, which is 2 hours of me talking straight and my voice just, I don't even like the sound of my own voice. And here we are talking for 2 hours into this setting to do the full review of this here Ori 3.0 coming your way sometime in the next week or two, depending on how fast I get it posted. So that's kind of what's going on there. Anything else happening in the headphone world that I should talk about? The episode after this next one, I've already started taking notes on, and that's going to be this HE-1000 Unveiled that was sent to us by Tony and Rigo and the fine folks over at Audio 46. I've got that on the way. We've got a review coming of this headphone. This is the Meze Strata. I really like these. I think this is going to be a fun review to do. It's a really well-priced product, and it sounds really good. Those are plugged in right now because I've been kind of starting to listen to these to try and get my first thoughts on them, like in a real setting where I'm actually doing real work. That's coming, and then I've got a Dan Clark Audio Noir X sitting there that we opened on the live stream. Have not opened that box yet. It's just sitting there. Can't wait to hear those for the first time. I love the old Noirs, and the Noir X is supposed to outdo it. We'll see if it does. It's been a minute since I've, heard that Noir, so it's probably been about 3 or 4 years. So I don't know if my muscle memory will be there for what that headphone sounded like. I just remember that headphone made of everything I heard, and this was right after, I believe it was right after the Expanse. No, it was right after the Stealth was released. They had is when I heard the Noir, the original Noir. And I thought that was the best thing I had heard that day from Dan Clark, and because I didn't think the Stealth really impressed me much, and I was hoping the Expanse would, but the Expanse was not a pleasant journey either. But the Noir is a fantastic headphone. I like the E3s from Dan Clark. I think that's a step in the right direction from them. Very good. JTB likes the look of those Strata. Yeah, me too. I think it's a great design, period, because it's the same design as the Lyric. It's just got some different, details to it. You've got, I don't have the overhead camera set up right now, but the shell, the yoke and the housing are, I believe they're metal. I believe that somebody said they were magnesium maybe. And they're beautifully painted. They have a beautiful finish on them, and they're green. And then you've got that set against wood, and wood and green go together very nicely. And then it's all accented with the copper posts that lead into the adjustment mechanism here. I think these are gorgeous. I'm a big fan of this look. And of course I like my original Lyric, but that's a shootout that we're going to do for that headphone. I'm going to compare the Lyric 1.0 because I have them here. with this Strata, and we'll see which one comes out on top. That would be kind of interesting because the Lyric was a $2,000 Renaro driver headphone, and that is a dynamic driver $900 headphone, and it sounds really good, I can tell you that. So it'll be kind of fun to do that back and forth and see what they sound like. So we have Reverend Dr. Thomas in the house, pardon me. He's in the house from Vietnam. Like I said, we've got viewers from all over the world on this show, and that's such a thrill to see people dropping in from literally every continent. It's just fantastic. It's good stuff. And even today, we've got somebody from Europe in here. We've got Torsten stop by, who sent the photos, and then we've got somebody from Asia, and it's just great. It's just so cool to see. So cool to see everybody coming in and joining us for our little happy hour Friday hangout. Couldn't do Wednesday this week. I did really just set up my camera yesterday so I could shoot the episode, the next Director's Garage big episode. It's always fun to do those big ones because they allow me time to kind of stretch my legs and do more creative work than this. This is more like juggling because I'm trying to read your chat, pay attention to what I was going to show you, and call up stuff on laptops, and pay attention to what this live stream's doing, all that stuff at once. It is ultra multitasking, which is its own challenge, but it's not terribly creative. It's just more like an exercise for your brain. But I did change the lighting in here. It's the same light, but I redid it a little bit based on something I saw. I took a damper out of the middle of the light, and it made the light more powerful and more evenly spread, which is counterintuitive. I would think that taking the damper was there to sort of spread the light and not create a bright spot in the middle. And it turns out it actually looks better with the damper out of it. So just little things, production note. Always trying new things here in the studio to try and make things interesting. See my clamp up here? That's really professional, isn't it? This is the clamp that holds the overhead camera in place. I'm sure that sounds really good because it's vibrating through the microphone. Stupid studio tricks. Reverend Dr. Thomas likes his Lyric in all black. I like the look of the Lyric. It's over on the other side of the room right now. I don't have it out, but the original Lyric I think is nice. The Lyric 2, they changed something up. I think they went with the wood one, right? Wasn't it all black and then it had the wood was the Lyric? And now this one is kind of this green look with the thing. But the biggest difference here is the driver. You're looking at a this is a dynamic driver versus the Renaro thing. The Renaro driver, which is a planar. So you've got a cheaper driver in this one, but they tuned it well, and that's pretty much all that matters to me. It's like, what does it sound like, right? Yes, I know. I know, JTV. I tried to explain that. The little box that controls the lights kind of has gotten there's a ghost in the machine. I love the Police. I love that album. There's a ghost in the machine down there, and it's kind of doing its own thing. So it was between unplugging it and having nothing down there and just leave it be completely dark, or go with the disco theme for a Friday. And it is almost Saturday, so we could have Saturday Night Fever here at the Director's Garage. I do have a new controller on the way that I'm just going to be able to hot swap and get this thing back restored to working again. But in the meantime, enjoy the stylistic delights of the disco Director's Garage. And now you make me kind of wanna, you make me want to hang a little disco light here that we can shine a spotlight at. Well, this HiFiman will work, right, with its veils on the side. It's reflective enough. That's what somebody needs to do. You need to make a headphone that's got mirrors on the side of it, right? Think about that. All right, here's the thing for Zach. Zach, if you're out there, we're going to take your Ori 3.0 And we're going to mount tiny little mirrors all around it and turn these into disco balls. And then you hit it with a beam of light, and every time you turn, you'll send, 1,000 little points of light around the room. That's a headphone I would buy just for the looks. Kevin Jacques in the house. Kevin is the VFX artist I was talking about earlier. So good to see you, and thanks for your contributions on Saturday, Kevin. He was a Hangover Hangout virgin, and we treated him we treated him with kid gloves. We didn't attack him too hard. It's all a bunch of fun, fellas. It's all a bunch of fun. I love that show, though. That was one of my favorite Hangover Hangouts, because we had really strong topics throughout it, and then we had Sajan taking us through New York Can Jam. So head over if you're interested in that one and you wanted to see it. $3 Patreon will get you a subscription to all future, an invite to all future Hangover Hangouts, as long as you're active, and then it will also get you the back catalog of Hangover Hangouts. $5 monthly subscription gets you into our Telegram chat, which is, there's new content every day on the Telegram chat. Like, somebody writes something. Ken from Ken's Workshop's been very active over there. Joey V's been very active over there. Joey is the person who had the two HE1 systems. So he's always posting something really cool, like, hey, just got this in, and like a photo of something. You're like, oh my God, how expensive was that? But I'm totally in awe. I totally am jealous right now. So that's a good time. So the Telegram chat has been really active, and Ken has been showing off his new turntable over there and sharing his struggles with trying to get it set up and stuff. It's really fun. Mr. Cardo says, closed-back planers are so tricky to keep from sounding horrendous. Yeah. They're very... I just think they have a propensity to bite at the top of the frequency range and be a little bit aggressive up there. And that's not easy to maintain and not easy to compensate and get it to go right. And I think some people have done it well. I think the Lyric is a pretty good sounding headphone from Meze for a closeback. I would say that the Caldera Closed is a nice sounding closeback planer. Trying to think of what's out there that's closed that I really liked. The Noir is as a dynamic driver. I don't think that's, but the E3 is a planer. And that sounds terrific. That's a very tricky headphone to drive, but it sounds really good. It's probably my favorite closeback. Is that controversial? Who cares? Live on the edge. I don't even know, I don't even have a pair of closebacks out other than this Ori 3.0. I guess I have the Fostex. That's semi-closed. I don't know, but I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of that. I think that those are the headphones that I think that Dan Clark has done really well. The Noir, I haven't heard the Noir, this new Noir X that's sitting in a box right back there, right back here. A box that is so tempting to open and show off, but it's going to wait for a formal Director's Garage introduction on a main show. So it just sits back there and stares at me, egging me on to get through these next few episodes so that we can get to it. And I can send them back to Audio 46. I hate that I'm sitting on 3 headphones of theirs, but they don't seem to mind. So we're going to do a nice review of this HE1000 unveiled first, and then we will do the Meze Strata, which is gorgeous. There's going to be a live stream coming up. I want you guys to mark, I think it's April 3rd? April 3rd, we're going to do a live unboxing of a day of release, a headphone that's coming out on April 3rd. We got an exclusive invite to show it off. They were going to get it to me in advance to have a review ready to go that day. I'm just not going to be able to shoot and edit a review while I've got all this other product sitting here. So what I'm going to do instead is do a live unboxing and reveal that headphone the day of its release. So make sure you mark your calendars for that. That's going to be really fun. That's going to be really fun. I'm super excited about that, and it's going to be one of those more. I don't know if it's an exclusive. I'm sure other social media people who have way more viewers than I have. we'll get it. We'll get it also, and they should, because it's a big company. But we're going to get to do something, kind of new, and we'll do it original and do it live, and I think that'll be its own little fun spin on it. So kind of good. Good to see Kevin here. Staying alive. JTB. It's fun. Noir X, the Noir X and E3 are both phenomenal closebacks. I agree 100%, Kevin. We see completely eye to eye on that. I agree. One more affordable option is the Maxwell 2s are great as well. I haven't heard the Maxwell 2 though. I've been trying to get a hold of Audeze. I want to get a pair of those up here, and I want to get the new LCD-5S up here because I really want to hear it. I was a big fan of the original LCD-5. It's not my favorite music headphone for but it had its own lane. I just wound up the only reason I got rid of it was because I had a deal to get the X9000, and I really wanted that Stax. So I traded my LCD-5 and my Ferrum stack for the X9000. Probably a bad deal on my part. It was a terrible deal overall because the shipping alone on that deal was $800 and some because it went way overseas. It's across the world. I did it for the meme of it because I thought it's a great meme, right? You make this deal just to do that trade. Great music lovers across continents. Fantastic. It's a story I'll tell my kids about even though I don't have any. When I was your age, I sent headphones around the world. And I liked it. Okay. Yeah, the Maxwell 2s, but I've heard good things about them. We did hear the Maxwells when we did the factory tour last year, but they were the Maxwell 1s. I have not heard this updated Maxwell. And I think that they're, for a low-priced headphone, they're in the lane. They're a headphone. I think anybody who's got, who's looking for a $250, $300 headphone should give that some pause. That Audeze some pause. And Audeze still makes great stuff. It's been a huge debate lately on. I see this popping up on my Facebook groups all the time. So should I buy this headphone? Should I not buy this headphone? Is this still, guys, this is still probably my favorite Audeze of all time. It's the LCD-4, the OG LCD-4. Heavy as all get out. Gorgeous bass. This one has a custom lid on it. Big fat top pad. That's fantastic. I've had these for sale off and on. I would probably sell them to the right buyer, but now I'm kind of like more in with the Ray Samuels amp here. These become a much more interesting headphone because the Ray Samuels has so much power to drive these things, and they're fantastic. The only thing I would say is, like, if you're looking for end game resolution, this isn't going to get you there. This does not have the speed of some of these newer planers. It doesn't. They're great though. The overall tuning on this is fantastic. It's a fast headphone, phenomenal bass, LCD-4 for the win. And then you can pick up a pair of those for probably around 20. They went up a little bit in price, the OGs, because people started realizing that the OGs sound better than the 4Zs, which is the current line of LCD-4 that Audeze makes. It's just like the parts were getting harder and harder to find for this headphone, so they did a revamp so they could borrow some parts from other headphones and keep the cost down. But But yeah, the LCD-4 is still, it's a classic, man. It's always going to be a classic. It'll be a classic in the way that the HD-800 is a classic, and the like they're going to be a great headphone 50 years from now, because it's a great headphone. The original HD-650, it's a classic. Everybody's going to love those, no matter what. It's just a great headphone. Is it, you know, does it compete with, you know, it doesn't do everything that the newer models do, but so what? It doesn't make it like, it's not uncomfortable to listen to. These things sound great and they're fun. That's all that matters. And I have a pair. That's all that matters. Too good. Too good. Matthew Hilsey in the house. Cheers, Matthew. Yep, the E3 was good. He's not a closed-back guy, though. If he needs isolation, he just uses IEMs. Yeah, and there's some good closebacks. Like, look, I like the Focal Batiste. I tend to go to the Bluetooth stuff. The Batiste and the Apollo, both good headphones, closed, and you get the noise cancellation on them. So if you're looking to really isolate, that would be a way to go. But yeah, I mean, there's still something to be said. I mean, every headphone has a place if you're interested in it. If it's what you want, it's what you like. I've always wanted to get. Well, I heard the Caldera closed. I really liked it. I want to hear the Atrium closed. I've never heard the Atrium closed. That would be a headphone. The Bokeh closed. That would be another one to check out. I still want the Bokeh open back. That's a short list headphone that I would love to buy someday. Yeah, it's good. It's all good. JTB says his closeback headphone is the FiO FT1 with the Duconi hybrid pads and Capra Audio comfort strap. Well, that sounds dirty. It sounds better. It sounds better than closeback C-Zone for $1,000. I think that for $1,000, you know, honestly, this headphone's going to compete because it's a great price and you're getting Meze quality, and it's lightweight. It's fun. I think this headphone is going to be something to reckon with. I'm imagining that Noir X at $1,000 is probably going to be pretty righteous. I think that's going to be a really good headphone. I haven't heard it yet, but if it's anything, it's anywhere near as good as the original Noir, I'm in for a good time with that headphone. Super excited to get to check those out. So, yeah, I'm just trying to think of what else is out there in the closed back from folks that's worth thinking about. I never liked the Stellia from Focal. I thought that was a disaster of a headphone. I was really unimpressed with it. I hate saying that because I really wanted to love that headphone, and it's beautiful, but no. FiO FT1 is $165. That's his point. Yeah, sure. There's some great deals out there for the cheaper stuff, for the more affordable stuff, as we like to say. But the Maxwells too. I mean, that's kind of in that lane. That's kind of in that area. That would be good. That would be a good choice. But closebacks are a little, and I don't gravitate towards the closebacks. I like the openbacks, and I like the sound of the openbacks, and I like the space of the openbacks, like this Atrium. Just still the prettiest headphone I've ever seen. God, I love this headphone. This is like, don't make me get rid of these. Please don't. I really like these. I just, the aged look, the retro feel, the matte finish, like the comfort of this headphone. They're cozy. It's like a hug. It's like a nice cozy hug. No, I love those headphones. And they're dark. They're dark as hell. I love how dark they are. It's wonderful. Kevin says, regarding what you were saying about the LCD-4, curious what the general consensus is with upgrading because of the new, or if the group holds on to favorites that are a bit dated. I don't know. I think there's just something special. Look, I've heard the LCD-4Z. I can't like put my finger on it. I just think there's an X factor to these. Maybe it's like a little more space, a little more openness. There's an X factor to these that just I like more than the newer model. So I don't know if it's holding it on for nostalgia. I think for me it's sound first. I'm holding on to. I have the Lyric because it's worth $1,000. I still am holding on to the Lyric because it's worth $1,000. I'm holding on to the Elite because there's some of this stuff is just like the resale isn't terribly good on it, so I can sell it or I can keep it, and it's probably just easier to keep it. The headphones that I would sell, I've already said the X9000 I would sell if I could get a good price for them. They're on the market. I think the Audeze CRBN, as much as I like the headphone, I think I've done what I'm going to do with them. I don't think I need to keep those here anymore. And I've got the planar or the E-stat that I really like is the 007 Mark I. It's not as detailed as any of those other two, but it's good, and it's good enough for me. I'm happy with that headphone. So that, like, if I'm going to keep an E-stat, that's going to be the E-stat that I'm keeping. And I still have the others. I just, right now I haven't been like into the E-stat thing for a while. But I like the sound. I just like the sound of the 007 Mark I. It's a little more of a bassy tuning. It does better with music that I enjoy, acoustic music and folk and stuff. And the X9000 is good. It's better. Everything's better with the new op amp and the Ray Samuels. But I think I just lean into the planars a little more. I like and I like dynamic driver headphones too. The Sesfara is still my go-to. The OG Sesfara, still love it. So, are there better? And I could get into the Sesfara Unveiled, but I don't like the idea with all of the little things I keep around here, the knives and the whatever. I'm like, I'm gonna kill that headphone. I just know it. It's not a matter of if; it's a question of when. I'm going to put something through that driver because I'm going to forget to put the veils on, and I'm going to set the headphone down, and I'm going to have something sitting there on the desk like a tiny little screwdriver that I use to adjust something, and it's going to go right into the driver. It's just a matter of time. So as much, and I admit that I think that the Sesfara Unveiled does outshine the Sesfara OG. I just don't. It's not a price I want to pay to get into something that risky that I will hurt. There you go. Kevin says he personally likes the vast majority of his older discontinued headphones over some of the newer releases he's purchased. No, I think that there's some new releases that I think are great. There's some headphones that really have wowed me. I think this HE-1000 Unveiled it's a wow headphone. It's probably a little too aggressive for my taste, but it's a wow. For a current headphone, I still think the Imanis is probably my favorite headphone. So there's that, and the Spirit Torino and some of those headphones are nice. They're very expensive. You're getting into 5 figures for headphones like that. Ouch. But I think they sound great, and they're new. They're current. But that doesn't negate that I like this OG Sesfara. It's pretty impressive that an OG Sesfara that's how many years old is still I think probably the best thing you can buy out, and they're just so cheap. They're under $3,000 now. Oh my God! But you have to buy the amplifier to drive them. That's the cost of the Sesfara. It's not just the cost of the headphone. You got to have an amp that can. But if you want them to sound their best, if you want to get the most out of them, you can drive them with stuff that's lower powered. But again, we get into that whole capacitance thing that I talked about last week. It's kind of like a classic guitar or a classic amp being more desirable. Yeah, I've got a few of those. I don't play guitar as much as I used to. My guitars have been in the same place that my records have been for the last couple of years. There's a big closet across the way, and everything's been in boxes since. I haven't touched my guitars in so long, and I've got this beautiful amp. I have a Vibra King. There's an amp that Fender came out with. It was sort of like a throwback tube amp that they released back in I would say it was probably the early 90s. It's called a Vibra King, and it's got the vibrato on it. That's why they call it that. But it's all hand built. It's got 3 speakers in it. It's amazing. The tone on that amp is gorgeous, and I've had it forever. It's been with me forever, but I haven't. I haven't even turned it on in a long time. I should just fire it up for old time's sake. Get that smell. You know how tube gear smells after it's been sitting for a really long time. So great. And then I have 2 guitars. I have a Fender Strat Plus that's got gold lace sensors from like the 90s, because that was when I was really into guitar. I was playing a lot, and I was actually at that time recording a lot for my video productions. So when I needed a piece of music, I would just write it and then take it in and use it on whatever it was I was doing at work, because it's just fun to do. It's fun. I just need a little, we're doing this. We did this campaign for PBS in Chicago called Facing Violence. So I just we had this like flashy open with police lights and, like the Mars rollers from the top of the Chicago police cars. And it just needed like a little theme, something or other. So I wrote this little thing on guitar and played it and added sound effect and stuff. And it was kind of cool. But it was fun to do that kind of stuff. It was getting to use my creativity in different ways. But I used the Fender on that, and then later on I bought a Les Paul because I loved the tone, and I have this I think it's a 1956 replica. Like they came out with it's not an original from 56, but it's a reissue of the 56. It's a gold top, gorgeous guitar. I should pull it out sometime, show it on the air. I've never shown my guitars. Most of his collection is discontinued. He loves that. The AOLS, the HE-500. Wow, there's an OG. Yeah, bringing it, Kevin. The HE-1000 V2, one of the best headphones ever made. That was the headphone that I've said this on the show many times. That's the headphone that I most regret getting rid of, because I sold it only so I could buy the 3 IEMs that started this show. I sold the, and now, it was just in the early days, and I was still making them. I just didn't want to spend a lot of money on headphones, and I bought the 3, and then I thought, well, that'd make a topic for a dumbass video, and that became episode 1 of the Director's Garage. So funny. But yeah, I sold my HE-1000 to do it, V2. That whole thing had a story, but I love that. I love that headphone. It was a great one. Tungsten single-sided V1. Oh, a little Ryan Dietz shout out in there. I have the double-sided here. It's fantastic. I think it's great. I see the appeal of the V1. I just thought that the V2 had a little more control, or the double-sided had a little more control. But I totally understand the appeal of the single-sided, for sure. Mr. Cardo says, yeah, the FiO FT1 is an easy recommendation for all his new audiophile friends. Agreed. Drink to that. That's pretty good. Evening all late to the party. Binary feedback. Better late than never, of course. Vibra King amp is probably worth $1,500 to $2,000 depending on the watts. Let's see what it is. I had a 100 watt Fender that I had before that, but it was really noisy. The Vibra King was much quieter. And probably that old black face Fender that I had was, the 100 watt amp was probably worth more. Let's see what it says. Let's see what the internet says. It's a 60 watt. Three 10-inch speakers, that's correct, into a 2-ohm load. I think this one had, I think it had Fender Blue Flame or Blue Frame speakers in it. Introduced in '93. That was around the time I bought it, yeah. It's fat tone, and it weighs in at over 70 pounds. Yes. Big iron transformers. That is the Vibra King. Oh, I should show it off. Hang on. Why should you look at me looking at something on screen when I can show you the screen? Fender Vibra King. $2,500. Nope, that's the wrong amp. Let me show you what I'm looking at here. Vibra King, 60 watt. Here you go. This is it. This is the amp. It's really cool. It's got this little tweed motif. It's very neat. The grill is brown and the faceplate is brown, and it's got these old Bakelite knobs on it. Really cool product. Let's see if I can find a photo of it. Let's go to photos, images. And mine's in really good shape. It's the only alteration that was done to it was the it had a there. This is good. Oh, come on, show me the full screen. Can't we make this full screen? Why you gotta do me like this, Parkway Music? It's cool. It's a really cool amp. Got the little leg, the little metal leg on it. It's kind of 50s-ish. But this is the thing. It's really cool. Fender badge. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, that's my amp. Still have it. Still works. Very heavy. Big, huge amp. I wonder what the 100 watt. I don't remember the number though that I had on of the talking guitar amps, guys. Sorry, we went down a little rat hole here. Where's our chat? I just lost our chat. Good God. Here we go. Very cool. Last couple, then we'll be winding this thing down. Wow, it was a longer stream than I thought. I thought we were going to go an hour. We're over an hour. Because the chat got active. That's the difference, guys. When you get the chat active, when everybody starts writing stuff, it makes my life a lot easier because I'm not sitting here talking. This is like there's an aspect of doing this when I'm talking on the air. It's like it's like you're playing racquetball with yourself a little bit, like up against a wall, and you're like just hitting the ball that you're throwing out there. So it's like if there's nothing going on in the chat, it becomes really dry, and I'm like, okay, we're just gonna get off the air now. Yeah, but and mine's in really good shape, so I could probably get a couple times. But I mean, then what? Then the next time I go to play, I want to play guitar, which is going to be in 10 years. I'm not going to have an amp for it. I'm going to go, I should have never sold that amp. That amp was gorgeous. Got to have one of everything, don't you? The dumbest thing, boys, that I did though was I sold my motorcycle before getting married, and I got the order wrong on that. Because fellas, once you get married, you're not going backwards. You're not going back. You're never going to get that motorcycle back. There's no way after marriage your wife is going to go, oh yeah, go and buy yourself that Harley Davidson. Go ahead and buy yourself that sports bike. You know what I mean? It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Oh my God, why is my stream so far removed from... Oh, because I clicked off of it. I hope we're okay in live. Looks like we are. All right. Well, so yeah, so guys, that's my advice to you is if you're thinking about getting married, make sure that you have your the toys you want in advance of getting married, because you'll never get them after you get married unless you have a really understanding wife like Mrs. Director, who lets me fill the background of my studio with very expensive things, which we can't do now obviously because we're broke, but you get the idea. All right. I'm going to start wrapping it up because I'm getting loopy and I've got some work to do still. I've got to do another cut on this piece that I'm working on. I got some revisions in. I got a new voiceover track that I recorded just before we went on the air live. So I'm going to start wrapping this one up. Yeah, still get them if you want to get divorced. That's the express ticket. That's the express ticket, but have your lawyer in place before you do it. Have it all done. All right, fellas, thank you so much for stopping by today. It was really enjoyable because the chat got really active. That's always fun for me. It makes life a lot easier and more enjoyable, and it lets me know that you guys are actually out there watching, which is good. Tip your waiters and waitresses on the way out. That means please give this episode a thumbs up. And if you can, get out there and listen to some music. Tedeschi Trucks' brand new album dropped today. Peace, fellas. Go listen to Tedeschi Trucks. Phenomenal. I can't wait to hear this record. I have not listened to it yet, but I've got a couple of pair of headphones sitting here that are just waiting for it. So go out there and listen to that tonight and or this weekend, whatever you can do. And yeah, we'll see you guys before you know it. New episode dropping soon. Check the top of the show for that info. And I'll see you guys. All right. Have a good one. I got to get off the air.
Let's hang out and get wasted at the director's garage. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, it's time to get juiced at the, it's time. Director's garage.